What up? It's your boy Diego kicking it with you. Not on the ride home, not on the radio side. Well, kind of on the radio side. This will be the first time I've been in this chair for just it's been a year. It's been a year, 2 year and a half. As you can see, we're in the new studio. Welcome to this side of what we do. This is Inked and Chattered on the Asylum Radio Network. I'm just gonna get right into it. My guest tonight, Splintered Throne, Lisa Mann. What up, girl? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. We got a gig tonight, so I'm stoked.
That's
Ready
that's
to
what
go.
you were saying. Yeah, we're over here just kind of shooting the shit, and I was like, I won't keep you long. You're like, damn right you won't. I gotta fucking go.
No, I'm not too worried about it. I just got to warm up my
There you
yoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
go. Get
That's
it. Get
all.
it. So we won't get too deep into the whole Wikipedia thing. We're just gonna say fiction, not accurate.
Wikipedia is wrong, man. It's just wrong. Don't even read anything on there about me because I don't know who they put that up there, but it's just
So
not right.
so kind of
I
just
do
give
play the bass, but about everything else, I think it's pretty wrong.
past that. It's a whole lot of bullshit. So West Virginia, you're born in West Virginia. That one's right. We're dead on
That
there, right?
that is correct.
And,
Yes.
and you live in Portland now, yeah?
Yeah, I live in Portland. My mom moved out to Portland when my folks got divorced, and then I ended up with my sister moving out here. And so, I might still talk funny sometimes, but I consider Portland my home. Lived in Seattle for a while, so
Yeah.
I'm a Northwesterner. I grew web feet living up here.
There you go. Is it true? Is it true it rains like 360 days up there a year?
No,
No.
no, it's just I'm sure there's other cities that get more rain, but
Yeah,
it just there's a lot of the year where it just sprinkles all the time.
I got you.
So it's just you're getting spritzed all the time.
So let's get into your main project you got going on right now, and then we can double back and talk about, I don't know, the blues queen, like, for lack of better words, that you are, and then other projects you have going on. So what you got right now at the Splinter Throne? Tell us about it.
That's right. Well, it's a band that's been around Portland for some years, and I was a fan. I went to see them live a few times, and I even bought their previous CD was Redline, and I bought that, and the lead singer Brian Garrison signed it for me, and I was like, oh, I was giddy about it. So I saw them again. They opened for Flotsam and Jetsam, and I didn't even know they were going to be there, but I was there with a friend of mine, and the lead singer announced that night that he was leaving the band. So I have a friend that was with me. Her name's Lisa as well. And she was like jabbing me and going, go talk to him. Go talk to him. You should join this band. And so she talked me into talking to them, and they had an audition process, and I got hired.
What went on the audition? Like, what? Take us through it.
Well, I mean, I drove up to his house, and there was this dude that was like walking to his car because they did it all in like one day, so they had a bunch of people come in. So I'm sorry, Thor shirt guy. Uh, apparently, I did a better job than you did. I just did my homework, man. They sent me a bunch of songs. They said learn the songs. They were open to having a female singer, and yeah, I just came in, sang my tunes, and then got a call back that they wanted me to join the band.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, like, female fronted bands, domination, for lack of better words. And I love it. It's fresh. It's not new, but it's new to this era, I guess, if that makes any sense. Like, because you had the Joan Jets, you have the Pat Benetars,
Heart.
of the 80s, and then they kind of soaked into the 90s, and then that went away. It just feels like it went away for like a hot minute,
Yeah.
around 22 something years. And then Lizzie Hale shows up, and then Evanescence shows up, and now we've just got just liquidation of female fronted bands,
Yeah.
and it's incredible because the crazy part about it is not no two female fronted band sounds the same, in my opinion. Now, there's a lot of other bands out, the copycat bands and shit like that, but something about a female fronted band, it almost embodies rock nowadays. The fresh, the new, the just the scream, the let your hair down, literally. Like, so. What is it like just being basically just a woman empowered in rock right now? Just
Right on.
out in front, you know?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, for one thing, I normally have a bass in my hands when I'm playing a gig, so
Yeah.
it's kind of weird not having my bass. And sometimes when I even load out, I'm like, "Where's my bass? Where's my bass?"
Yeah, right.
Oh, wait, no, I don't have it with me. So that's kind of weird. So I've had to learn how to move around. But hey, I watched a lot of live Iron Maiden videos, and I'm just a Bruce Dickinson maniac. So I'm just like,
Yes.
I just try to embody Bruce Dickinson. I guess what you were saying about uh, the female fronted bands not sounding alike. I think that's what's really important when it comes to this so-called female fronted metal, label, because we don't all sound alike. There are a lot of bands that are symphonic and they have an operatic kind of a singer, or, Evanescence kind of style. I don't sing girly, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
Most of my influences were men. Were I have an alto voice for one thing. Bruce Dickinson, Ronnie James Dio, Rob Halford, um, Eric Adams, guys like that were real belters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's so. So with that being said, who? I mean, I think you just named some of them off,
Oh
but
yeah.
what were your early inspirations into music? Not just for fronted, but for bass players, for blues. Like I said
Oh
at the
yeah.
top of this whole interview, you're more than just what you are right now. Like you've got a catalog. So yeah,
Well,
just how did it all start?
blues is my day job. That's how I like to say it. I'm a full-time working musician. I like to say I scrape pennies off tables. That's what we do. We don't sell a house and get $100,000. We just sell CDs. We sell, tickets at the door. We get money from ASCAP and Sound Exchange and stuff like that. So that's what I do for a living, and it's allowed me. I don't have a boss, so it's allowed me to do projects like Splinter Thorn. And I really got turned on to music from my parents because they both had their own record collection. They both had a real big record collection. Deep Purple, Machine Head, that was, a big game changer for bass playing. I wanted to be a bass player when I was a little kid, man. I was into Kiss. I was like, Keith Simmons, you
Yeah.
know. I wanted to be a bass player, and that's what I heard. I always heard that in the melody. I started plunking out bass lines on my mom's acoustic guitar. I walked home from school and saved my lunch money to buy my first bass. But it was like my dad's music. He had Steppenwolf, Cream, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, all that what you'd call proto metal today, and all
Mhm.
that stuff was really blues based. So those bass players really influenced me early on. And then later I got into metal. I got into Bob Daisley, Steve Harris, of course,
Mhm.
Joey DeMeo, somewhat. I wasn't really, much of a speed pick player or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
But, I got into these killer and Merciful Fate, big Merciful Fate fan, man. So Timmy Hansen and King Diamond on vocals, big influences on me. But later on, when I got into blues, I started working because I moved to Seattle and worked in kind of the top 40 rock scene. Got back down to Portland, and there's a really hot blues scene. And you can work as a musician and make money playing blues. So I started out just, playing with some other people. And, it was a bit foreign to me at first. But I was like, "Wait a minute. This bass line sounds like that John Paul Jones thing in that Led Zeppelin song. Wait, this sounds like that Geezer Butler line," you know? I was like, "Oh, it's blues. Oh." You
Yeah.
know? So I kinda came into blues kinda through the back door of the rock, the British stuff,
Yeah.
because the British dudes got into that stuff.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So like you're well, I call it Seattle. I call anything being from the West Coast. I call anything past San Francisco for me. I'm like Seattle, right?
No,
So
no.
like, where's
Not when
that
it comes to
difference?
blues, man.
Right, exactly. So where's that
Not
difference?
when it comes to blues.
What's that Portland scene like? Like, explain it to somebody that's never been west of the Mississippi.
We are on the shuffle side of the river. Let's just put it that way. No offense to my Washington State people, but they play more straight eights kind of stuff. And we got the shuffle going on in Portland. We have Lloyd Jones. We had Paul DeLay, who sadly passed away. We had Duffy Bishop. Damn it, she moved all the way out to Florida.
Yeah,
Um, just a lot of really great blues musicians. Michael Osborne, who used to play with John Lee Hooker. we've got a lot of great blues. You can go to any little hole in the wall club in Portland on a weeknight and see a great blues band.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
it's very
So
cool.
there's a game I used to play. I guess we'll bring it back. It's the like what's in your I gotta update the name because it's like every time I say it, my teenager gets on me. She's like, "How old are you? 105?" Because the name of it's what's in your iPod, what's on your shuffle right now. You know,
Oh
and
yeah, what's on my shuffle?
you,
Well, now I guess you'd say what's on my Bandcamp.
there you go, there you go. Yeah. So what would be the give me a couple like huge surprises
Like,
that
what am I
somebody would be like,
listening to on the Bandcamp? Let me see. I don't know, man. I listen to a lot of weird stuff.
yeah,
I like a lot of extreme, what you'd call extreme metal. I
okay.
don't play it, but lately I've been interested in it. I don't know if Dimmu Borgir is considered extreme. I don't know. I
Ah,
like them because there's I love symphonic stuff, Septic Flesh. Um, but there's a lot Avatar. I love Avatar from Sweden. I love
Avatar.
Ghost. That's really,
Oh yeah.
kind of,
Avatar,
opera.
such a sneaky good band.
Sneaky good. I like that. That's great.
Sneaky
But
good.
also, I listen to some smaller bands. Drainbow.
Yeah.
That dude
Okay.
is he comes up with some crazy shit, man. Can I say shit? I'm sorry.
100%. You can say shit. You can say whatever you want. You got carte
Okay,
blanche. It's the internet.
okay. And Alpha Botus is from uh, Canada. So
Yeah.
I listen to a bunch of Necropanther.
Necropanther. Yeah.
You know, I listen to a lot of weird stuff. And someone just recommended on Metal Twitter because I have made some friends on Metal Twitter.
Look out now.
Someone just recommended I believe the band is called it is the album is called Shit Metal.
Okay. Okay.
So apparently they have invented a new subgenre.
Yeah. Brand new.
It
Brand
was
new.
so bad it was good.
It's hey, that's what they said. That's what they said about grunge. This is so terrible
Yeah.
that it ended up being great. Yeah,
Mhm.
which that was me. I got to catch that era.
The
The gift of
Seattle era. Yeah, that
yeah,
was the Seattle sound, man. Yeah,
yeah,
I was see, I call myself the unfrozen cave woman of metal
yeah,
because when people say, "Oh man, you could play all this old school stuff and white crone and it's so old school," and it's like that's because in the '90s, man, I got into like Rage Against Machine, System of a Down, stuff like that, Soundgarden, and I also got into like slapping and popping and Mark King and anything slapping a fishbone. I I got
fishbone.
off into this tangent, and
Yeah,
then I got into soul and James Jamerson and Bob
yeah,
Babbitt, stuff like that, and blues later on. So then when I came back to metal, it's like all my references are from the way back,
yeah.
man.
And like you say too, like if you listen to any of the older interviews from the Sound Gardens, from especially Alice in Chains,
Yeah.
it's blues and country infused and like inspired. Like it like you will not hear somebody say that, and it's just crazy how all that runs in. You don't ever really think about that.
Yeah, STP, man. That bass player is like the
Oh,
James Jamerson of rock and roll, man.
oh my goodness, yeah. Like and
Good stuff.
still like just timeless. All it's timeless. It's
Blues,
all timeless.
soul. Yep.
So tell us a little bit about White Crone, because like I said, that was one of the ones that it's like I knew you before I knew you type of situation.
That's
Like I
cool.
knew what I was listening to before I knew who he was.
The word was getting around. That's good. That's really good. White Crone, The Poisoner. I didn't even know there was another band that's female fronted called Sanhedrin that had an album called The Poisoner, but I'm so out of it. I don't know. I didn't know who was who, man. So I was just here's what happened. I listened to Ghost. I heard Ghost, and I heard that during the Grammy process back in like 2015, 2016.
Mm,
So this took a long time to make. And listening to it, I was like, oh, this guy really doesn't care what anybody thinks. He's
right.
just writing music that he wants to write, and he's producing it and putting it out. And he doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks. And I was like, oh. You mean you could do that?
Yeah.
And so I always wanted, I mean, I always had metal in my heart, but I got into the top 40 scene. I never wrote metal. All of a sudden, all this stuff just came out. Bass lines, guitar lines, vocal parts, lyrics. It just was oozing out of my pores. And I started putting it together in my DAW. I just started recording stuff, making little scratch tracks. And I was like, I have to get this down. I bought a 7-string guitar. I play 6-string bass, so I had to buy a 7-string guitar
Of
to
course.
match.
Of
And I
course.
bought a set of E drums because I understand drums. I can play the drums well enough to put scratch tracks down. I couldn't do it for the final product. I ended up teaching myself guitar so I could record this stuff. And so I like to call it baby's first guitar solo. You know, a lot of punching in because the strings are tiny, man. I don't get it. But I hired a drummer, Larry London. There were a couple of songs that I wanted really good guitar parts on, and that was Mehdi Farjami, who helped me with that. I had a percussionist come in, Katone Lyles, on one song that's really kind of North African sounding song, more kind of exotic melodies. And I had Vinny Appice record on one track. He and I had a working relationship. We actually just remotely a working relationship before with one of my blues albums, where he played a track on one of my blues albums. So I was like, this is a real slow, heavy, tune, like 60 beats per minute or something. So I was like, that's the guy, Vinny. So yeah, it came together, recorded at Opal Studio in Portland with Kevin Hahn. He's recorded a lot of my blues stuff, and he did the Splintered Throne album too. So I'm really happy with how it came out, and it got a lot of really good reviews, which really touches my heart. As an old school metal chick, that I make records, yeah, but I make blues records. To come out with I was like, can I really do this?
Yeah.
But I think people like this music and they want to hear it, man. This is an
Absolutely.
album that I would have wanted to hear when I was 16.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of where I was coming from with it.
That and and you did it. You did all that. I mean, you knocked it out. Like you knocked it out of the park. Especially with like coming from like you say you're a blues chick, and then you step into this.
Yeah.
No, it's phenomenal. It's amazing.
Thank
Anybody that hasn't checked that out, please go pick
thank
that up.
thank you very much. And it's just like it took some people by surprise because they thought of me just as a blues artist and they didn't realize that I grew up in a mosh pit.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I was at the Starry Night every weekend in Portland, just like cracking my head, twisting my ankle, and crowd surfing, and
That's it. That's
yeah.
it. If you're just now tuning in, I got Lisa Mann from Splintered Throne. Tell us where you can find your music, like wherever socials and Bandcamp or where, like iTunes, any and all.
All of it, man. Spotify, iTunes. I try to encourage people to sign up for Napster because Napster, people are like, what? What's that? It used to be Rhapsody, and somehow they
Yeah,
thought it was, I don't know why, to
yeah,
use the Napster name, but it's a legitimate streaming platform just like Spotify. The thing is it pays artists a lot better. So you can find me on Napster, also Bandcamp. You can stream on Bandcamp. We love it because, they take a small fee, but we control Bandcamp. We can control the prices, we control merch on there, and we will ship stuff to you. If you go to whitecrone.bandcamp.com, you go to splinteredthrone.bandcamp.com, you can order a CD. We will sign it. We might even throw in some little goodies, some stickers and stuff, but we will send it right to you. So that's why we love that platform so much.
very, very awesome. Very and gigs. Besides what you got going on a little bit later on, what do you got coming up? Anything? Any big tours? Any big festivals?
No big tours, no big festivals yet because the timing of the release of this album, we're going to start looking into 2023 because they're all booked up. All
Yeah,
the festivals are
yeah.
booked up and stuff. But we have a gig coming up at the place called I think it's called is it called the White Side or the White Hall? There's a a benefit for Ukraine happening in Corvallis, Oregon. There's a big theater there. And let me see, where is that going to be? It's going to be at the White, what is it? The Whitehall. Whiteside Theater. See, I'm getting everything mixed up. Whiteside Theater in Corvallis, 7 p.m. this Friday, September 23rd. It's near Salem, Oregon, a little bit south of us. But a portion of the proceeds are going to help Ukrainian refugees.
Very
So
awesome.
it's coordinating with a whole bunch of efforts to raise money for Ukrainian refugees. They have an art show going on. They're selling donuts for Ukraine. They got this. Corvallis is a sister city. This is
Mhm.
why it's taking place there. They're a sister city to Uzhhorod in Ukraine. There's a city in Ukraine. And so, they have the connections, they have the infrastructure to set up to help these people already. So we're really proud to be doing that, being a part of that this weekend.
That's very awesome. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
Let us know anything we can do promotion wise. Yeah. Don't hesitate. Tag us and we share out whatever we can.
right on.
Yeah, that's very awesome. Very
Thank
awesome. Well,
you.
Lisa Mann, Splintered Throne. Go pick up the tunes right now. It's everywhere where music is available. Thank you so much. Finally, this is literally 2 years in the making for this interview. We got to do this again soon.
That's awesome, Diego. Get back in the game, man.
Do it.
Get back in the game.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Take it easy.